Hi everyone. How exciting to be sharing with you, Robert and Kevin. We've shared, Diane, Mighty, all of you there on this day of scaring and fearful things happening in the world. Robert has been on about me to share a story about my time with the Beatles. And so I thought I'd share this with you. It's an interesting story. What happened was, it was 3 years ago. I was sitting in front of a computer, and on the computer up come this picture that I realized, and it took me back to when I was 11 years old. And there I was at 11 years old with my father, who owned a big bingo hall, which was a ballroom in 1964, 65. And it was like frightening big place. And I remember my father take me there and he'd teach me how to open the curtains for the different acts that would come on. And one day we were there and the Beatles turned up. And he said to me, "Get outside, help them. For God's sake," my father's a big sergeant major. "Get outside, boy, and bring in the drums for Ringo." So I run outside and there's Ringo struggling with his drums and there's snow everywhere. And I get the drums and I take them inside. And as I took the drums inside, "Thanks, Whack, it's nice of you, And I saw Paul McCartney, John Lennon going up to me, "Dad, oh, you look like Jimmy Edwards." They were taking the mick out of my dad because he had this big bushy moustache. Anyway, to cut a long story short, there I was in amongst all this, because we'd had Bill Haley in the comics, Jerry Lee Lewis, we'd had lots of all the stars all over the world used to come there. My dad used to book them because he run this hall, this ballroom in Chatham in Kent. So here was what's interesting. John Lennon comes up and said, "I've lost my bloody guitar. And I can't find it anywhere. We can't play." And of course, my dad said, "Go and look for it, boy." So I went out into the snow with my friend, who was about 15 years old. Mick Williams is a friend of mine. And we ran up the street and we saw this guy with his guitar, John Lennon's guitar. And he went up to him and he hit him because he was stealing it. And I took the guitar off this guy while he hit him. And I ran back with the guitar to my John Lennon's, the room backstage where they were backstage. "Bloody hell, thank God. Oh, what? Thank you so much." He was going, John Lennon was so excited. He could play tonight, and he was like, "Here's a drink." They got me a drink and they're all, lots of loved up by the Beatles. Anyway, cut a long story short, there we were. And then they went out on stage. I pulled the curtain and then come the song. I think if I remember it, I'm going to tell you at the end, the caveat of all this, was "She Loves You, Yeah, Woo!" And I'm pulling the curtains up and I can't believe this is happening. I run up the stairs. I look through this little hole my father had to spy on the audiences on the side of the stage. And he looked through this hole and my father went, "Oh!" And he fell back in awe. "What's wrong, Dad?" "Take a look at this, boy." And when I looked through this tiny little hole, the backstage, there was this I've never seen anything like it. It frightened me. I started to cry. I was only young. I was like, "Dad, what's that?" "Christ almighty!" And my dad turned and he said, "These guys are going to be big." And then 3 years ago, go right back, in front of the computer, and there I was. What took me back into that story when I was 11, here I was, back in the computer only 3 years ago. John Lennon's guitar for sale. Sotheby's, £300,000, whatever it was. Gresh guitar. I went, "Oh my God, that's the guitar." I just wish I'd have kept it. But here's another interesting part to this story. That I get a phone call only 2 weeks ago. And Robert, you don't know this. 2 weeks ago, I got this telephone call. And it was from a guy called Mark Lewinson. He's doing the history of the Beatles' life, a book. He's been doing it for 30 years. It's going to be one of the biggest things ever on the Beatles. And he said, I never knew they went to Chatham in Kent, and I've been doing some research, and I have found you're the only person alive now from those days who he could talk to about the Beatles being in Chatham. So, of course, I told him this story. And I have told this story many times. I tell it on stage because people will ask me, why am I a vocal coach? Why do I teach? I said, well, my inspiration was the Beatles, and I take them through this story.
Hey, if you like the video, subscribe and click the little notification bell thing. And go out to our Facebook group. Go to the Vocalist Studio Facebook group. It's awesome, exploding with activity and community. Thanks for watching.